So we're going to do a quick video on some of the tips for you in the golf grip. There's videos that show how to do it, so I'm not going to go over that, but I'm going to show you a couple checkpoints and why it's important. First, as we know, we're getting it into our fingers with the pad on top. And the primary nuance that you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you bring your hand in from the side and cover your thumb with your lifeline while it's in the fingers. That gives me a neutral grip. And the reason we do that is that when I'm at impact position now, my club face is square. And so if you're not in a position where you have a flat left wrist and a bent right wrist at impact with a square club face, somewhere along the lines you're going to make a compensation for that. The most common thing that we see is people put their hands up underneath too much. So my hands aren't working in conjunction with each other. I got the top one on correctly and the bottom one too much underneath. What happens is, with an underneath grip, if I then go and put my club face into impact, it's completely closed. And if I have a completely closed club face, I'm either going to be hitting hooks or duck hooks to the left or straight pulls to the left, or I'm going to be making some sort of compensation in my swing to keep the club face square to the target. So if you don't set your hands on the club correctly, you're going to make a club face change. And when you make a club face change at impact, you're going to make a compensation in your swing. So make sure you do that. The other thing I think that the video showed is make sure you can put a T in your hand between your first finger and your thumb when you put it on. And if you do it on both hands, those T's will be running straight down the shaft if you have a neutral grip. So that's what both of those videos suggest. And that is actually a very good place to start. If you notice, the V's on your hands sort of run to the right side of your face when you do that. If you want to shift them both in conjunction a little bit to the back side of the grip, so now the V's are pointing towards your shoulder or between your ear and your shoulder, that's going to be okay too. It's going to create a slightly closed club face if I hold it out in front of me. And that's all right. Most really good players play with that slightly closed club face to the neutral club face. So when you're doing a grip, that's what you want to do. A quick way to check if you're holding it correctly is I can take the club with my top hand and I have a flat left wrist. I should have a flat or square club face. If the club face is rolled too much this way, that's not going to be good because you're going to have a closed club face at impact. If the club face is rolled too much that way, you're going to have an open club face at impact. So make sure when you take your grip and with your top hand, a quick check is if I have a flat left wrist right here, that my club face is very close to flat and matching my wrist. If you do those things, you can make sure that you have a solid grip. And during the off season or now when you're practicing at home, that is the best time to make sure your grip is correct. It may feel a little bit awkward or different at first, but doing all your drills at home, make sure you do that so when you have a flat left wrist and a bent right wrist at impact, your club face is square. And then that's the first building block to actually improving your technique.